So hi, so I'm Suzanne, like you kindly said. So I'm head of support in the directory. 70% of our staff in the directory are actually autistic. We have 3 teams of people. We have a directory team, which input all the data into the directory. We have a community team that support the support groups and do the fundraising and bucket collections. And we also have a team, a design team, who do all the merchandise and design all our social media, etc. So they're all very talented guys, and they've taught me a lot. So I'm going to introduce you to Jan now, and Jan is one of our community coordinators.
Hello there, my name is Janet Jones. I am autistic. I was diagnosed 3 days before my 60th birthday, so it was a bit of a shock to the system, having spent my life not knowing what was the matter with me. So obviously I I run the community groups and help with the PIP support, claiming benefits, and basically talking to people who've had a diagnosis of autism and don't understand what it is. Because so many people don't have a clue. They just start off, get given a pack, here you are, go away, live your life, and they just haven't got a clue what it's all about. I know I was one of them.
Yeah. So today is an opportunity for us to chat with you and to have a look at anything you think we need to look at in the directory, at services, at policies, well, anything you need really. So I know there's still quite a lot of people still in the other seminar room that said they were going to be coming, but we'll start anyway and just look at if anybody's got anything to say about services they've come across that they're not happy with, improvements they'd like to see made, or just general comments really. So I'll open up to the floor if anybody has anything to say. Yes.
One thing I've noticed about, for instance, ASD, a lot of the services can't be accessed unless you have a diagnosis.
Yes.
But I think if a family, a child or an adult is going through the process with a consultant, and the consultant always says 60 to 70%, yes, you've got it, I think it would be really worthwhile for those families to be able to access those services before the statementing comes along.
Yes.
So for me, been going through this now since June, for instance, the consultant says, look, don't worry about it, it's almost guaranteed to be a yes, but I can't access any of those services until I get that diagnosis.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference to me because there's another diagnosis and it's just a name. But in order for me to further my learning, to help my child go through some of this stuff, I need that learning.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to have that learning as soon as you're told by the consultant, not until you get the diagnosis.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because for me, by the time you get a statement, it'd be almost a year, and that's a year's worth of learning that I've missed.
Missed. There are a lot of organisations that only have certain criteria that will only work with you if you have a diagnosis, if you don't have a learning disability. At the directory, we don't have any criteria, so we work with a lot of people post-diagnosis. They access our support groups. We was running a family support group in Caerphilly, but they've kind of taken it in a different direction now, which is really great. They've done it themselves. So we're looking to set up community hubs to run those services.
Yeah, because there's one called Rainbow.
Yes.
So you can't access Rainbow, or the child can't access Rainbow unless you have an actual diagnosis. But if they could be referred by a consultant, for instance, is that another way? Because those services are so valuable to families.
Yeah. Please excuse any spelling mistakes. Okay. Okay. So we can look at maybe proposing to the other organisations that they look at, if they get a referral from a consultant, that they would take those families on. Okay?
Fabulous, thank you.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
So speaking as a mother of a 25-year-old female who was diagnosed 13 years ago, absolutely delighted that such events exist.
Thank you.
Because it wasn't there 13 years ago. It was go and read the book of the Curious Incident in the Dock of Midnight.
Yes.
Which is actually not the...
It doesn't give you an insight, does it, at
I
all?
did feedback into the fact that probably wasn't the best way to take things forward. But I found over the years that there doesn't seem to be so much support, we've already discussed it, among females.
Yes.
And the whole mobility that brings, and employment, so those who do actually get into employment. My daughter got into Tesco, but not without some waving around of disability law, etc.
Yes.
Then that support and how to get into that is maybe not highlighted as much as it could be.
No.
We've managed to find Engage to Change and Elite and these kind of things, but I think now hopefully moving on with getting diagnosis, getting the schooling, the education, which are all really, really important,
Yeah.
then we need to take the challenge and say, okay, these are young adults who have a lot to give. They shouldn't be put on the scrap heap.
No.
And just left with no employment, no social support, no anything. They literally...
It's like
their
autism
skills
disappears
are
when people become 18.
you get your done your college, you know, on with it, and if you haven't got a proactive advocate to do that.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be the next challenge, how we support people in education, getting into education,
Yes.
getting on with life.
Yeah. So-
and I don't find that too much focused at the moment.
No. What we try and highlight, thanks. We have just developed a number of employment programs. So the DWP have contracted us to run employment programs in RCT originally. We've just taken it to Newport Cumbrae, Chepstow, Pontypool, and Bridgend, Porthcawl and Maesteg, to run courses for people pre-diagnosis, you know, if they have a diagnosis, comorbid disabilities as well, to offer the adults a chance of looking at upskilling, developing their confidence.
Yeah.
We also get local businesses in to do with those interests that those people have, because if they're doing a job they don't have an interest in, they won't enjoy that job. So it's looking at alternative employment methods. We're also working with a lot of companies to make reasonable adjustments. I've just been working with Marks and Spencer's in Llantrisant to support them with one of their employees. And we're looking to develop that model to send out to all businesses across Wales. So a lot of people don't know about Access to Work. So Access to Work is a government initiative that will employ a support worker to work alongside somebody in their employment. So putting a job coach in or a job aid. So it doesn't have to be full-time, it's just maybe managing their work tasks. You know, maybe it could be travel training, it could be anything.
That has been valuable to allow Anna to settle into her
Yes.
job. Yeah.
It's crucial.
You also get equipment with that.
Yes, you
like
do
said.
get equipment with that as
Yeah.
well. So if you need a laptop or communication aids, different software, Dragon software, it could be lots of different things. But it's about us getting it out there to everybody so that they know we're doing these services for people. It's about us spreading the word really that we are doing these programmes. Please go along to your local job centre and ask about the Autism Directory and find out if you can go on the course and open up the challenges. We're working with Disability Confidence as well to get as many businesses on board really around Cardiff and South Wales to open up the possibilities for people and to support these adults. We find a lot of people start work and don't disclose that they're autistic, and they could work for many years and then difficulties will set in. Burnout can happen, too much pressure, they don't understand tasks that are given to them. So it's about us going into those organisations then and training the staff on just looking at people's differences and seeing how they can manage those differences.
I think that's one of the big things that's missing is when people are in work. I was mid-40s before I was diagnosed, so I've been working for 20 years.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to find out why I wasn't progressing any further, and there's no support at that level. I can understand why, because you look at the stats, and the majority of people aren't in work.
Yeah.
So those of us are in relatively middle management sort of roles. We're probably a very small proportion, so there's no focus, but that still is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah. Do you get support now?
No.
Are your managers showing appropriate reasonable adjustments?
No. Because it's just been put in the all too difficult category. When you're in the civil service, changing things like recruitment practices, it's local managers say, oh, that's going to be done centrally, and the central people say, oh no, talk to your local managers, and it just bounces back and forth.
Yeah.
You're
It's that lack of communication and consistency, isn't it? we're kind of challenging all of that, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So we go into a number of places. We've done Cardiff City Football Club, looking at developing their structures around reasonable adjustments. A lot of people hear the word reasonable adjustments and will go, no, it's going to cost us a fortune, we can't afford it, we don't want to do it. They don't cost anything usually. It might just be turning a desk round, changing the light setting, taking a mat up off the floor. It could be lots of different things. It could be just telling the rest of your staff that you don't want to engage with them socially. I had somebody ring me a while ago now who was a forensic scientist. She just employed somebody with Asperger's. He was doing an amazing job, but the rest of the team couldn't talk to him. They didn't know how to talk to him. So I said, but why does he have to? So it's just about understanding that people on the spectrum may not want to engage in the mundane stuff we neurotypicals talk about. It's just about them being able to comfortably sit there and do their work without being interrupted or, you know, being asked what was on TV last night, where did you go on the weekend? It's just simple adjustments to the team, them understanding that they don't need to do those things with people and allowing them the space to be able to go off and have 5 minutes when they've just over-processed and just had enough. They just need that break.
Yes, because you've got to make sure that the management and HR themselves actually understand as much as they claim to understand. Because I've had the experience where I've been offered jobs and I knew I'm completely unsuitable and they couldn't understand why I kept rejecting them before I got put into the one I'm in at the moment. I actually work at the same place as him. And it was extremely stressful.
Yeah.
And even in the job I'm in, my manager's a bit understand up to a point,
Yes.
but he's still... There are times when I still can't get through to him.
No.
It takes a lot
I
of
always
people
say,
to do it for me.
absolutely, I'm not autistic, I'll never know what it's like to be autistic. But these guys,
You know.
they know. So, and the people I meet daily will be able to inform
Yeah.
me of the changes that they need.
Yeah.
So it's about, if you think that your managers aren't understanding or
Yeah.
not listening to you, please signpost them to us.
Yeah.
Because we will be able to go in and have informal chats with them and offer training with our autistic team members. Jan has recently last year did a number of doctor surgeries because we were having so many people phone us say the doctors don't think I'm autistic because I hold eye contact. I don't collect something, I'm not autistic.
I have a sense of humour.
I have a sense of humour.
Not
So
a
Jan,
Those are learned behaviours though.
exactly.
So you might be constantly told, look in the eye, look in the eye.
Yeah.
You might not be comfortable doing it. The doctor's not going to see that.
Especially if you get diagnosed later in life, you've learned to mask, you've learned to hide all these things, you've watched people, you mimic them, you learn them.
I don't look anybody in the eye, but I look at their mouth or their nose, whatever they're talking. But
Yeah.
people assume that I'm looking in the eye.
Sorry.
That's mine is basically, I probably won't get as much help out today because I live in England, in Bristol.
Okay. Me too.
Well, we're Bristol.
Oh, I'm from Wales. Yeah. Basically, in Bristol, they're terrible at diagnosing women. There's a big group of us on Facebook that will be misdiagnosed or just ignored, basically, and treated like crap when we went in for our assessments. I still can't talk about crying, to be honest.
Yeah. That's understandable.
So I think they need some sort of help there for women who have done all the research and they've read all the books and they know within their heart and brain that they are, but there's nobody out there to help them. And my parents as well, I've had to move back home, and obviously we had struggles and fights and meltdowns, and there's nobody there to help them either because I'm not officially diagnosed. And obviously at work as well, I was struggling to find work. I can't find work.
I know, it's hard.
So overwhelming. Yeah,
It's okay.
no, it's fine.
There is a huge lack of services across the board. I think,
You're
sorry.
going back?
I've got a grandson, he's 13, he's autistic, big problem with anxiety.
Yeah.
And recently, brother was 2 years younger and he had a traumatic brain injury and fell off a roof at work.
Okay.
And it's left him very, very anxious. And he's suffering the same problems going out Italy now from his injury. But the difference is, because headway was involved, it was an injury. He's had support, I don't take things to him, but he's had support workers.
Yeah.
There were people there to take him out on a bus. He could have been groups, workshops, places where men gather together in the shed. And I just handed over the services that were out there to him because he was once physically able
Yeah.
and now he's classed as disabled from a physical point of view, that you just cannot access these things.
No.
For a teenage boy that would love to be doing teenage boy things, and it was the difficulty now, is my daughter, is letting him have a little bit of freedom. And more
Independence.
independence,
Yeah.
you know, because we take him out, he goes out with his scooters. We try to pick safe places so he can scooter off a bit on his own
Yeah.
without us having to worry. But it's, you know, yeah, it's nothing. I don't care how we can't get a blue badge at the moment.
Right.
It's the bane of my life. Applied for it 4 times and it keeps coming back. You don't meet the criteria because Wales are not adopting the hidden disabilities.
They have,
They've recently done it.
Oh, they
Yeah.
have now.
They have-
Well, I had to get my MP involved because we were getting anywhere with
So
it.
you've got to do it through your GP, and you'll have to get the GP involved.
I think it depends where you are, because I've just got one in Merthyr for my little boy, because he's 10.
Yeah.
And when I went to the civic centre, they said you have to fill this form in as well. And there's 2 forms to do. You do the blue badge form, and there's a supporting form that goes with it.
Well, I wish I would too.
I've done the same with
I didn't know that.
Yeah, from the Vale and Morgan, and I've been refused 4 times. I'm sick of it now. In fact, I got in contact with our local MP, and he actually said, well, he looked through the eligibility criteria. He said, yes, you do need it. I'm just trying to convince them.
Okay.
So
You
some
shouldn't need to
jobs
convince
with
them, though.
refusing us.
Council is saying no.
Yeah.
You know, then I could have an accident and we could have it. You know,
I can get it more than that.
But
Yeah,
this,
and that's-
sorry, the supporting form you've got, where did you get that from?
Me?
Yeah.
The council gave it to me, and when I went
Okay.
into the council, I can't remember what it was called, but they said you fill in the blue badge form and you've got this form to fill in as well. And I
Right.
literally had the letter last week to say he qualified for
They
it.
just
I'm asked
don't.
and I didn't have to do the additional form. I just did the one form where I took a supporting consultant's letter with me and got the blue badge that way.
Yeah.
But it's weird though, isn't it? It's still RCT, it's not the same procedure for all of us.
No.
No,
It's
yeah.
different.
Yeah. Different council though, isn't
I know
it?
it's very normal, what runs it, or normally does it, runs it through the consultancy service, and was it the GP? I know that was kind of a plan to do it, make sure you've got, just make sure you've got that from the GP, or direct access from the GP, and actually,
Yeah, but I don't know who else. I'm not responsible, to be honest.
It is really, I'm working with a number of different clients who have dropped through the net massively. They may have multiple needs, complex needs, plus autism. So different organisations won't work with them because of their other needs. I've had to get local MPs involved in certain cases just to get a social services a wellbeing assessment done in the first place. And without them writing those letters to those people, that person is completely overlooked. And social services actually did say that, you know, if a person has broken their leg, then we'll support them.
Yeah.
If they have autism, we can't.
I think the problem with the council stuff is they're not medically trained, so you're sending a letter of somebody that has a medical condition to somebody that's not medically trained.
but the thing is, suppose if you become a support worker, yes, it is a medical condition, to become a support worker, you don't need to have any training at all. To become a counsellor, a support counsellor, you don't need any certification. You just need to register with the counselling council, and you're now a registered counsellor. And I think that's what's got to change. Badly, is all council workers who are going to be working in the social service sector have to be trained in completely qualified. Well, yes, ASD is a...
Does anybody think there is one thing we can do to change these things?
Social service still cater for people with medical conditions. That was my query.
Yes, they do.
You can't
But
say we don't deal with anybody with medical conditions because most of what they do is...
yeah, it is a medical
But they
condition,
also
but the problem is because all the entitlements have changed. So back in 2017, the entitlements changed. So autism and Asperger's were removed. So they don't exist anymore, and it's all being put under one umbrella. And it's getting the training of that, what that ASD is, autism spectrum disorder, and is the medical condition, getting that taught into their heads of some of the thickest people on the country at times, has been the bane of my life. I have spent emails for Venerable Cardiff Council was damn pain until recently to get this through. I had 3 people who came to me asking, can I get them assistance? With just a very simple thing, which was a council issue, which I could have done in the development movement like that, and Cardiff was just saying that eventually I managed to get from chamber so that they could deal with it. And it was a nightmare.
I think the common theme is lack of training and education in
Yes.
providers.
This is lack of training. Lack of awareness, to be honest.
It should be part of mandatory
I'll
training
sort out
for certain
that.
levels.
Yeah, I agree.
I think going back to what Suzanne said about doing the doctors training, GPs training. Well, GPs are the gateway to diagnosis. I went along with Gareth, our manager, to do this training with the GPs, and he took most of the training, is what he specialises in. And then he introduces me towards the end. Well, in this meantime, I've been talking, I've been handing out leaflets, I've been smiling, I've been, what they think, making eye contact. And all of a sudden I said, well, I introduced myself, I say, Jan, I work for the directory and I'm autistic. And it's just, jaws hang down. They do not have any comprehension. They can understand a child with behavioural difficulties or learning difficulties, but they cannot understand autism at any other level. I present a really, really good maths because I was 60 years of age before I got diagnosed. What goes on inside, nobody sees except me. I go home at the end of the night and I crash. You know, especially after this weekend.
Well,
yeah, but if the GPs haven't got that knowledge, what can we give to anybody
no,
else?
and it is the understanding of female autism as well.
The assessors need more updated training on female, how females present differently.
Yes.
Because they're just overlooking the fact that you look at them in the eyes, or all that sort of stuff. They completely ignore the fact.
I was at a recent PIP tribunal, and at the end the judge was summarising, saying, you know, well, you've maintained really good eye contact throughout this assessment. And I said to the young person, I said, have you been looking at them in their eye? And they said, no, I've been looking at their ear, their chin, their forehead. And they were so surprised at this. And they just assumed that they were looking at them in the eye. And it's not the case, not for anybody.
I would like to say my little boy has really good eye contact, and he was diagnosed at 3, so I don't know if they can use eye contact.
Yes, it is. I know lots of
Use
people.
eye contact as a guide.
No, exactly. I know loads of people who will stare intently into your eyes.
I've had a few of those.
For a long time. And they do that all the time.
Speak up a bit, there seems to be a lot of background.
Oh, Steve.
Going on in the background.
Sorry.
Remember when that was me?
Yeah.
I looked at the floor today.
Steve, sorry, can I ask to continue the conversation later? We just so not everybody can hear. Thank you, Steve. Sorry.
It's difficult trying to tune everything else out.
It is, yeah. And there's lots of other noises going on as
I
well.
just mention the gap that I'm concerned with
Okay.
at the moment. My little boy is in year 6, so he's got the jump from an ASD unit into comp because he doesn't quite meet the criteria for special school. But now all of a sudden he's got to go into this massive school, and what he'll have to do is go to all these lessons. There is a unit there, but that's for the base to come back to if he's struggling. That isn't going to work.
What transition programme are they putting in place for him into comp?
I don't know yet because I don't know what comp to put him in.
Okay.
Visit a few of them.
That's the
beforehand.
plan.
Yeah.
I tried to take him to one yesterday because they had an open evening. He wouldn't even get out of the car.
But you can approach them yourself beforehand.
Yeah.
Don't go to open evenings.
No,
Go
and you
have
can
a-
ask
that.
for separate appointments.
Yeah.
You can ask for those things. But the school he's in should be doing a
They
transition.
will do. They are. That's the plan.
Ask
Because
them
in
to
fairness,
recommending certain comps around your area as well, based on your needs. They're really good. at providing that
because
advice.
we're in Merthyr, you've got to look at Merthyr first.
Yeah.
And they won't go out of county in this. There's a specific reason for it, and it's just the big jump from he's in 6 in his class at the moment, and then it's boom.
There is ways, I know, of other cases where people, when they've gone to comp, the classes that he's in have been based in one room, so he doesn't have to move around. So they've made those adjustments on certain floors, next to quiet rooms, lots of different things, little things that will make that journey, that transition a lot easier for him. So it all depends on the school. Get the right school and they'll make those adjustments for you. We have got a section on our directory, online directory, that has all the list of schools. So you could have a look on there as well to get an idea of what there are in the area. And then there's a couple of different forums as well that you could join to do with education that would be quite interesting.
I think what we found is that we had a parent support group we set up in Caerphilly, and most of the support that they got from there was from other parents, because they've already been through that. They've had to fight tooth and nail to get their children into the appropriate places. And if you can join one of those online chats, you will get people that will be able to give you advice.
My concern is not just the lessons, is outside the lessons. It's he knows, he can recite all the road safety stuff. He can tell you everything about safety and what to do. But when it actually comes to doing it, it'll be, "That's a dog," and gone, or "Ooh, what's that?" and gone. And there's just nothing then, and there's no reasoning. So yeah, you might be able to put him in the lesson, get him to do something in the lesson, but it's when he goes out through that doors as well. What's going to stop him going out the gate onto the main road?
Has he got support in school at the moment? I know he's
in
a special
an
unit.
ASD unit, so
Right.
there's something like 3 or 4 teachers in 6 class.
Has he got a statement?
No, that's been an issue.
Okay, so I've got all the legal letters that you need to send to the governors, the head teacher, the local authority, that I can send to you, that will get that statement started, the EdPsych report that you need, and to start the ball rolling with those things. So if I give you my card later, I can email them to you.
Okay, brilliant.
So they are online as well.
I just get sort of, you don't
Should
need that anymore.
definitely get psych report though, because I'm currently going through this myself, so hoping to have a statement in the first 2 weeks of October. And they said that we didn't need the psych report as much because we had the school report, we had the consultant report.
It all depends on that individual
Is
report
it?
that you've
Oh,
had from
okay.
the school. If that lists all the
It
difficulties.
was all singing or dancing,
Yeah.
she was fantastic.
So
it was
if
great.
you've got a really good Elenco
okay.
or Senko, then that is worth its weight in gold.
Right.
You don't have to wait for an
Yeah.
EdPsych report.
No, it was just a normal teacher, it
Yeah.
was, but it just she added extra
Yeah.
at the end.
It all
that's fine.
depends on that support you get there and how good they are, really.
I was almost going to panic thinking, oh my god, I've got to send a psych report.
No. If their report is good enough,
Yeah.
that's down.
Okay.
Yeah. Services, yeah. We need to change the world, really.
There seems a wide range of different procedures to try and get statements throughout different counties of Wales.
Yes.
What are you doing about trying to get a central, a one central policy?
Yeah.
Is there any way you can approach the Welsh Government to do that?
I will write it down.
No, I don't know, different colour. It's
Okay.
a new game, new game.
I think they need something to get the teachers these days.
Thing is, I mean, when the Welsh Government kind of created the integrated autism service, that was supposed to be in each area, the kind of central point that everybody go to for support for autism. It just doesn't work that way. They become overwhelmed. They just can't cope with the amount of
In certain areas you can get quite easily. In
Yeah.
other areas it really does struggle. Our daughter-in-law has really had to work very, very hard to get a statement.
Yeah.
She got a fine interest. It was, in fact, she probably knows more than anybody else around here.
Yeah.
But,
I know Sinclair's Law, who are here today, did a big talk last year at our show because so many parents were being told you don't need a statement, and it is the local authority's legal requirement to provide a statement if you request one. So there was lots of parents being told you don't need one, it's okay. And actually the schools were breaking the law by saying that.
I think the key for anything, whether it's a diagnosis or education or claiming benefits, is paperwork from professionals. The more paperwork you've got, the more nods going around there, the easier it becomes to actually access
it's
things.
very difficult for people to
Yes.
know what people are getting
Yes.
together.
Exactly, yeah.
Therefore, it's essential really that there's one point
Yeah.
by the Welsh Government can issue the guidelines.
Yeah, I've noticed that some people are talking about support to 18 and some people are talking about support to 25.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the two ages? Some
So up until you are 16, there's a package of support available. Support groups, training, classes, lots of different things. And then kind of when they get to 18, it kind of drops off. And a number of people, they assume that autism goes away at 18. But it doesn't. For a lot of people, a lot of our team especially, they've been diagnosed in their 20s or 30s and literally been given a traffic light postcard and said, off you go. So, and then they ring us, say, help, we don't understand our autism, what do I do next? I'm scared, you know, all these different things, isn't it? So we have them in, we talk to them, they meet the team, we look at what services they need support with. But we're one tiny little organisation doing that. And there's something bigger that needs to happen, I think.
So pre-adulthood, the support's there up to 18, and then it just disappears.
Yeah. But, you know, the support, as people have said here, is intermittent and depending on where you're living, isn't it? Even up to that level.
There's pockets of support available, but there's no cohesive, like you said, one thing works for everybody. And these are all things that we can take to the policy makers and say.
I know it's going to be different in every county anyway, depending on the resources, but if there's just the one procedure, that would make it so much easier.
It's the same with the various police forces. They, talking to the South police guys out there, and they've got their thing to get your little card, but every police force has got their own.
Yeah, they're all.
Why can't we have one?
Yeah.
Because I work all around the country, so if I wanted those, I would have to have a wallet full of them, so I wouldn't have any money or credit cards, appointments. But when I said, oh no, we don't talk to each other.
It is that huge lack of communication between organisations, between councils, between everybody.
The councils don't even talk to themselves properly.
No.
So even if you've got one, this is a difficulty I face when just trying to deal with a simple mental health issue to be dealt with, or first aid issues to be dealt with. It's somebody in Cardiff I'm treating. I'm going, because I live in Dale, I'm starting it through with the Cardiff and Dale Council, St John. But yet, I now got to send it through to the council. I'm having it, the Cardiff Council will not talk to Dale and Morgan. So in other words, the issue is got to be put to both counties, and then it's not doing it. So I got to re-duplicate this off, all of the paperwork again, and send it through twice. It's just driving me mad.
Yeah, I don't know what the quick solution would be for any of these issues. I know we have to empower people, give them people the knowledge, and training people is really important, and open their eyes to the various spectrum that is autism is one of the first stages, so people don't assume that because you can give eye contact, because you can work, because you can drive, because you're a girl, that you don't have autism. So it's going to be a huge change that is needed. I don't know, I'm at a loss really to say what we can do.
So the thing is, all we can do for ourselves, I mean, we can take this when we kind of, because we do address kind of decision makers at some points, but all we can do is make the small changes that actually make a difference. We can come and talk to employers, which might make a difference to them, which might pass on to people coming behind you. I mean, I think really we're the forerunners of what's going to happen, because people coming behind us will have benefited from the things that have happened to us, hopefully, because things will have improved and changed.
Hopefully we can get a snowball effect running.
Yeah.
It sounds like you need a channel to actually challenge government. And change, because that's where it's going to work from. Because then they'll filter that down to the rest. But I mean, that's where you need a.
But they just ploughed 3 million back into the autism.
Integrated
policy.
autism service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But they can't get staff.
No. So they're willing to do it. It's just I think they need those channels, a way to be directed first, really.
Yeah.
The thing is, we seem to be picking up the pieces and filling the gaps of what other.
Yeah. I mean, the
people
IAS
cannot.
refer to us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they've got the biggest pocket of money to do the services, but they haven't got the staff to do them, unfortunately. And we're like, we're 20 odd staff now, aren't we? So we are growing, but
And how many of us on the support?
70%. But it's, I think, that big one, challenging the government and how we go about doing that.
Devolving decision making to the council seems to have prevented local authorities making decisions. You know, it's crazy, really.
There needs to be something specific with the funding. It needs, because I know, not to mention county names, but a county I used to work with, there was an autism pot that came in, and they divided it into something like the foster care system, or what they just,
dissolved it
disappeared.
out.
And we're sort of, whoa, hang on a minute, that's not what that's for, but it was already allocated and everything. So how do they report that back to the government? Surely the government should be able to come back and say, so how did that meet?
That's usually the procedure when you get funding, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
You have to show what you've used the money for with evidence.
So how are they covering the fact that it's not actually specifically going to an autism service?
Yeah.
So it needs to be more.
Maybe some freedom of information requests around that.
Yeah.
Get some information around it, some data.
Do not be afraid to use the Freedom of Information Act, because it can be one of the biggest tools in their toolbox.
Okay. We are hoping to stretch our services into Bristol eventually, and we are setting up. We have had small pockets of funding given to us from fundraising activities we've done. So I know we received £3,000 off someone, didn't we? So we're going to do a community hub in Caerphilly for that. So hopefully those community hubs are going to start going everywhere, and then we will be able to access and support local groups, families, in those areas really.
Do you deliver support to mental health services?
Sorry?
Do you deliver support to mental health services?
We are working with different mental health services, yes. We've worked with Mind and we're working with mental health team because they refer a lot of people back to us because they don't quite understand autism, mental health or anxiety and depression. No, they don't.
And we are actually working with the hospital, Royal Glamorgan Hospital, with a kind of a focus group to actually help. It's in the mental health department because they have a mental health section there to improve things for autistic people within that department because they're identifying that, and they're hoping to kind of get us on board to kind of make a difference in that environment, which will pass on to the hospital. So.
Yeah. And I'm training with the DWP, the Dispute Centre, for PIP decisions as well, to train the CAPTA staff on understanding autism. They came in to video some of my clients and have taken that video footage now to train some of their CAPTA staff.
Talking about PIP, it's somebody I've dealt with along the way. I've had his review phone call from PIP, and he's ASD, GAD, he's got a list of acronyms. And obviously with ASD, if you're asked a specific question, you give a specific answer. Well, this is what he's done. Next thing he knows, he's been signed off PIP. He says, oh, I no longer get this anymore. I said, but you're entitled to it. And I was explaining how that was the wrong approach for ASD, and once I explained it to him, oh yeah, I said, right, you need to appeal this. So the appeal was going through last I saw of him.
Okay.
But I think that's where the awareness needs to be raised with them.
Yes.
Bring up and do a review like that if they've got autism.
Yeah.
The autism's not going to go away, so why should PIP stop?
No.
Exactly.
So the last
Yeah.
5 tribunals I've done, at the end I always mention that I work with the DWP at changing the outcomes for people with autism, and I always mention that we are looking to start lifelong awards, and the last 5 claims I've done, they've all come back with 5-year awards. They said we can't give any longer at this moment in time. So 5 years is better than 3 because usually it takes about 2 years to do. You've got 1 year breathing space before you have to do it all over again. And it's so anxiety inducing, it's horrible.
His letter said, but this says I've got it till October, and they stopped it in March. But it says here I've got it until October, and I thought that's because you've been knocked off of it.
Yeah.
But it says here.
It's so confusing, the whole system is very confusing.
Yeah, it just.
But I was in a meeting yesterday and the lady said she works for Merthyr Tydfil DWP, and she wants to look at the mandatory recon stage and how better to deal with people with autism through that stage.
Yeah, I had a chat with him when I was working there. This isn't good enough.
Yeah, so hopefully things will change. I mean, they're very small steps, but yeah, I think when my name's on a PIP paper now, they go, oh, it's here again, no. So yeah, we've got 100%, and you're taking over now as well, aren't you? Yep. It's not a nice process.
The thing is, for a lot of people, there is no support.
No.
Like money-wise, because I'm presuming you have to have the official diagnosis to get PIP.
No. You have to, but you have to evidence that you.
I'd be even scared of approaching it because all I've heard is horror stories about it, and I can't. There's nothing else I can claim. So basically living off mum now, which isn't easy because
No.
my mum doesn't work, my dad's retiring soon.
Yeah.
So it's just that plus, being ignored for every single job you go for.
Over
You know,
the years,
it's-
there's
it's
some
support.
people in Citizens Advice that are specifically trained with PIP and DNA. So I can go to check on
Yes.
CV over there.
Okay.
Try with CAB, they're
Citizen
pretty
advice.
good. They are. But yeah, it's a hard, I say to people, when we're doing the paperwork with people, I don't want you to process this because it's so negative, and you spend your life building up people saying you can do these things, and then suddenly you've got to write reams of paperwork on what you can't do, and it's horrible. So yeah, we try and
focus on the positives,
Focus on
or
the
ask them to
positives.
go away and kind of write some positive things about themselves.
after they've done the
After they've
paperwork,
done the
because it's
paperwork.
yeah, because it's not good. It sends people into a huge shutdown, meltdown.
We've had one this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
So can I ask one more thing?
Yes.
A recent job I applied for, it went with the interview, it's like a group interview, it went okay. But the hours they're offering, I can work part-time now, I keep having burnouts and breakdowns with full-time. And they, so the hours currently were no good. And they eventually got back to me for a part-time job to suit me. But the hours weren't part-time. One of the days was like 10 hours long. And they knew I had Asperger's, I suffered under Asperger's, but they still set me these ridiculous hours. So I obviously had to turn it down because I knew I couldn't do it and taking it out on mum and dad and everything.
Was it a
so
big company or a smaller company?
It's John Lewis.
Okay.
It's huge, yeah.
Oh.
So I'm like, is there any, can I go in and sort of speak to HR and put some
Ask
sort of
about what
case
their
about,
what flexibility they have, what
Yeah.
policies they've got on flexible working. Speak to them about that.
It's just Chris's job, it's money in it, so
Drop the Disability Act.
Yeah, drop the
Yeah.
Disability Act in, reasonable adjustments, flexibility at work.
Remember
try it out then.
in England there's the Autism Act as well.
Yeah.
We don't have over here.
Okay.
So it's worth fighting a little bit.
It is.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's important that you have to fight, but yeah,
But
it's your right.
it's your entitlement.
I met a number of people in Job Club last week when I was doing the assessments, and they all said they've had work experience in Marks and Spencer's, for instance, and they all had horrid experiences where they were supposed to have buddies or supposed to have this, and it never happened. But then I'm working with another branch of Marks and Spencer's in Lantrissant, and they've been amazing. They've put so many reasonable adjustments in place. They want me to go to every meeting they have, and I'm just like, really, you don't need me now. But every department across is so different. There's no communication.
We're on the same site. We work on the same site and run a support group for people that work there with who are on the spectrum. And the different stories, you get 10 people in the room and you'll get people who have brilliant support to people who have the exact opposite. And it's completely different just in one
department.
One office. And it's just,
How do you collate that information? What do you do with that information?
We've now got a group they've now set up a sort of a consultative council to go in. So any HR policy changes, we've got somebody that sits on that so we can feed any changes into. We're getting somewhere, but it's very slow.
Yeah.
And it started off as an informal thing that myself and one other person set up purely for ourselves, and then we thought, you know what, there may be some other people, and so we put it out there, and sort of 30 people turned up. We were like, oh, this is a bit big. What's happening now?
Yeah. It's good though that you're doing that, and those
Because
little
there's
changes will have those ripples.
Yeah, there's nothing come out from HR or anywhere, so we've had to do this off our own bat, and it is starting to have results, but it's taken a lot of work.
Yeah. And it's those changes that will impact and further inform the HR department about other offices.
But, getting things changed in terms of, because it's still the classic, if you want promotion, it is application forms, interview, and well, that's what I went for.
Yeah.
Does not make eye contact.
And I tried going to the interview scheme for one job once, and the people doing the interview, even though I told them that I had a diagnosis, they had somebody invited in from their team invited in on the last minute, but I wasn't informed. And when I mentioned at the end that about Asperger's,
You were
I could
surprised.
tell, I could tell that I hadn't got it. So again, it's like HR helping you with the job search, you do make sure they actually do a bit more than pay lip service.
Yes,
You know what
yeah.
they're doing.
Absolutely. I had a young lady on one course last week who is amazing. She's a software engineer. She's got, I think it was 11 A-star A-levels, and she's amazing. Incredible at what she does. But what the interview stages for the jobs she's going for are all day long interviews. Made up of different sections where you have group sessions and you've got to do a presentation. That's no good for her. That's too tiring for a start. It's too much processing in one length of time. So it's about me contacting employers and saying to them, let's look at your interview process. Let's do this a little bit differently. Let's get people in on work placements to work and spend a day with you to see how you do things. See if they fit into your team. See if they can do the job. And changing things that way. Change it and just, oh gosh, sorry. That's one of the volunteers. Can help. So it's about taking those small steps in prodding people and saying, let's change these things. I think you guys are the guys living with it or for your children. So you are the ones, I think, if you get together and start saying things and start shouting louder and collate the data that you've got, and if you could send it to us, that would be amazing, because we could take it to the government then and say, this is what's happening. Yeah. Our Help Hub stats are amazing. You know, the amount of people that can access our Help Hub. And we take those stats then to people and say, this is what we're doing. This is what people are asking for. Let's change this.
We can also ask the services that provide this, what are they feedback? Because
Yeah.
I've had one of the very few positive experiences going through CAMS. Consultants are very supportive once they set up parenting groups, stuff like this, once the actual information sent to them, you know. So I've had a positive experience through that side of things, but she is equally as frustrated with some of the stuff that she is restricted on doing. Can't set up parenting talks because of GDPR. Well, if we're all there of our own free will, then surely that doesn't make a difference, you know. But yeah, it seems to speak to those services and saying, like, what do you want to influence with Welsh Government as well?
Yeah.
You know? Because yes, okay, they can't always provide everything, but they also equally have their restraints.
One of the things I find frustrating, and I guess it's just one of those things, but I live in Wales, I work in England, and the number of organisations, yeah, we'll support, no, you work over there, you have to talk to a team over there to see it. And then it's, but you live over there, you have to talk to a team over there, and it's...
Our helpline is across the UK, and we get people from the Isle of Wight, everywhere, Plymouth, loads in Bristol. We get loads of people from Bristol phoning us. And we will do the research. One of our team members will do the research for that person and find out the answer. So we won't say, sorry, we can't help you. We won't say that, you know, we're not in your area, we can't support you. We'll try and find a way of doing that. So we'll try and access, one of the team or in the directory will research into that, whatever that subject is that they're looking for.
To be honest, the only reason I've not actually come to you guys for any support is that Nadine's a friend of my wife. I'm like, just in case it goes wrong.
You won't go wrong with that.
My wife actually set up the very first website for
okay.
directory.
Ah, wicked.
Before she was my wife. But yeah, the only reason I haven't, I thought, no, what happens if it all goes horribly wrong like it does with everybody else?
Right, I have supported somebody who's over in Glastonbury actually. He was having problems at work. So I sent a number of lots of information for him to give to his HR department on autism. And then they actually rang me when they were in a meeting with him, just so I could explain some of the issues he was having. So it can be done that way as well.
I think when we've got an HR department that's dealing with, I don't know, many, is it 10,000 people, something like that? Yeah, it's
We need to get one person in that HR department on board and...
I did that.
Okay, I don't know how we're doing for time. I don't know what the time is.
We've had a 10-minute call a few minutes
Couple
ago.
more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I would really like to thank everybody for asking the questions you've asked. I'm sorry if I can't give you any definitive answers, but we will take this back to our team and we will try and make some sort of impact somewhere. But yeah, you've got your support group. Yeah, are they good?
Yeah, there's a couple of groups on Facebook, but yeah, the main one is Phil by Bass. So yeah, we sort of just go collect stories and stuff and evidence.
How do you collate that information then, and what do you do with it?
Well, we'll just sort of, if we find something that helps, you know, what we're trying to get across, that women are different, that we do show different and stuff, all these great articles that are out there, we just post them on there and we can all read them and then try and share them. There is this lady I know, she just started her own charity in Bristol for women with autism.
Fantastic.
But it's really early days at the moment, so there's nothing.
If she needs any help or advice, ask her to ring us, and
I
you
will
know,
tell her.
because we've got the online directory as well, which is nationwide, so it covers all areas. So you go on, you want services anywhere, you can go and find them on there. So
it's called Autismids or something.
Yeah.
Autismids or something. But yeah.
I think I might have heard of that
Yeah.
actually. But
So-
you know, we can put your group on the directory then, so other women can find it. But it's about supporting each other and collating the information we need to take it to the government to say this is what we need to change. So, you know, any information you have got, please, you know, pass on that data. Sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I wish I had a magic wand that would change everything. I really do.
But you're starting to wave the wand. It's working. It's starting to get
In
there.
little ripples.
Yeah.
But no, thank you all for coming. And if you would like to speak to us personally or have a chat about anything else, yeah, please come